Hey there. So today I'm back here gonna do some test flights with a new Mavic 2 Pro that I bought. It arrived last week, and I have the Mavic Pro Platinum, and it's a good quadcopter, but I didn't like it for the reason of the GOP compression artifacts. It gets this flicker, especially in 4K, and every 8 frames it saves one full size frame and then compresses the next 7. So what ends up happening is you get this flicker in the video, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. But it's still a pretty good quadcopter, but that flicker just drove me crazy. And you can get rid of it with some post-processing using Neat Video. Works well, but it is super CPU intensive to use and takes a long time to process. Like a 2-minute clip will take you 40 minutes to process, at least on my computer. And I'm using a 2017 MacBook Pro Retina, spec'd out, everything except the 2 terabyte hard drive, and it struggles with it. So I ended up getting this Mavic 2 Pro with the 1-inch sensor, which is not really 1 inch, but I'm assuming it's the same Sony sensor that a lot of different manufacturers use, and it's a great little sensor. It works well. So I took it out yesterday for some test flights, and it does really, really well. I did make the mistake though. I was trying different footages or different settings, like 4K high quality mode and full field of view mode, and in the process of me changing those, I accidentally hit 25 frames per second instead of the normal 30 frames per second that I usually shoot. So I got home and I'm processing the footage, and I render it out, and I look at it, it's like every 6th frame is a repeat of the 5th frame. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I finally noticed it in Final Cut Pro that it was in 25 frames per second, and I was editing it in a 30 frame per second timeline. So it was adding frames to make up for that lack of frames in 25p. So today we're gonna try to do it right, but it flies really well. It's so super steady, and maybe today I'll try to give it some tests with different flight modes. Yesterday I was just trying to dial in making the yaw smoother using the controller, so you know your panning shots aren't all herky-jerky and too fast. So we'll see how it goes today. I got this handy little case from Polar Pro off of Amazon. It was about $30. Oh, there's some water dripping here. I'm underneath a tree. Not a good place to put it. But it fits pretty much everything in there. It'll fit up to, I got hand warmers in here to keep the batteries warm. It's a little chilly today, about 45 degrees, but these will help. But it fits everything in here. It'll fit up to 4 batteries. If you turn these batteries up on end, you can get 3 in there and then 1 on the quad, and that's 4 batteries. The controller fits in there really well, although you have to take the sticks off for it to fit in there. But it works good, and it folds up nicely. Small, fits in my backpack here, and is highly mobile. All right, we're just about ready to take off here. This used to be a shooting range, and I believe the state of Maryland bought it, and they raised all the buildings around me here. There used to be buildings all over the place, little towers that people would shoot out of, and little dugouts in the ground over here. I guess that would simulate duck blinds. They closed it down. I guess lead was getting into the creek that's below this area, and now I guess the state raised all the buildings, and it's just part of the Seneca Creek State Park now. I got this nice launch pad. I bought it special for here. I can roll it up and fit it in my backpack. Got it from Pep Boys. It's Honda. They didn't have Ford. What are you gonna do? But it works. Honda's a good car.
this is good.
So we flew 3 batteries today, and I don't take them down. I take them down to about 50%. I really don't believe in taking lipos down much further than that. It's a little cooler today, so it's like 45, maybe 50 degrees, and actually starting to get pretty warm because I have like hand warmers in almost every single pocket. I'm getting pretty warm, but I just don't like pushing the batteries too much. So I take them down to about 3.8 per cell, which is about 50% charge, and then they're good to go for storage. I can leave them unattended and not have to worry about it for a month or so. It works out well that way. But I got to try some different flight modes. I did tap the fly. That's pretty cool. You can point on the screen, you tap the screen, and it'll head off in a direction that you indicated. And you can also discover that you can make the drone, I hate the word drone, you can make the quad ascend or descend as it's moving forward. There's a little horizon line I noticed, and if you tap above it, it'll ascend as it's going, and below it'll descend. That's pretty cool. I tried point of interest, and I could not figure it out at first. It's changed from the Mavic Platinum, the first iteration of the Mavic, where you used to fly over what you wanted to orbit. It's called point of interest. So you'd find your point of interest, go over it, and you'd press a button on the screen, and then you'd back off and hit go. You'd back off to whatever distance you wanted to orbit that object, and you would hit go, and it would go around clockwise or counterclockwise. Now I couldn't figure it out. I had to get my phone out and look it up, and found some guy's tutorial on YouTube. But what you do now is you find the object that you want to orbit, and you draw a square around it on the screen, and you can adjust your speed clockwise or counterclockwise, and you just hit go, and then it'll go around that object. It's pretty cool. I like the way it is better now, as opposed to where you used to have to go fly directly over something, hit the button of marking what you wanted to orbit, and then back off and hit go. It works much better now. I like it. And there's a lot more things in here I need to try out and test. But overall, man, this thing it's quite awesome, and I'm really pleased with the video quality on it. I hope so anyway. One of the things I hope a lot of these shots are in focus. I just, I get to thinking about shutter speed and what aperture I'm at, how everything looks on the histogram, and my white balance. I always forget something. It's either white balance or focus. Hopefully it all turned out okay. All right, I guess that's about it. Goodbye.